Hi friends, my name is Kayla Rain, and today we're going on a European book trip. Today I'm going to be doing my monthly recommendations for the month of June, and the theme this month is books around the world, and I am so excited about this theme because I'm someone who has a reading experience that is very much focused on books set in the United States and books set in Europe. So this is one of those monthly recommendations topics that I definitely know that I'm going to benefit from because I'm going to have so many new recommendations for books that I can pick up from books around the world, and I'm very excited about that. As usual, I will leave all the links in the down bar below for you to check out the Goodreads group for monthly recommendations that I started with my good friend Trina over at Between Chapters. But without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into the monthly recommendations. So the first book that I have to recommend this month is The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants by Anne Brasher's, and there is a particular storyline in this book that follows the main character who is in Greece, and this just really sets up this really dreamy, romantic atmosphere, and that's really how I think of Greece when I think about vacationing there and visiting and everything. And I think that Anne Brasher's did a really great job of capturing that kind of romantic, very beautiful, picturesque setting in this book. And I am going to promote the crap out of this book anyway, no matter what, but this one just really fit that topic for me. This is a great summer read. It really packs a punch for friendship, family, and relationships in general, and has some really, really cool settings, you know, like in Greece. Next, I'm going to take you to Paris, France with Anna and the French Kiss, and this book is not very summery. It's actually set over the course of the school year, but it does take place in Paris, France, and has this really beautiful setting, and I think that Stephanie Perkins did such a fantastic job of capturing Paris through the eyes of a young adult. I've had the privilege of being able to visit Paris before. I visited when I was 19, and reading Anna and the French Kiss really brought me back to that time period in my life and just kind of the way that I saw Paris as a young girl, and it was just really exciting. And I think that Stephanie Perkins did a really great job of just capturing that city essence of Paris and just really transporting you to that time and place. And super bonus, it takes place at a boarding school, which I am personally a sucker for boarding school stories, so if that is your jam, pick up Anna and the French Kiss. Moving on to a companion novel of the Anna and the French Kiss trilogy, I'm going to be taking you guys to Spain, Barcelona specifically, with Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. This is such a cute little book, and it has one particular scene that does take place in Barcelona, and this is really just a cute contemporary that I recommend to anyone in general, but it does take place in a couple of different settings, and that's just really fun to be able to jump around to those different places. And I absolutely love this book, even though I know it's not some people's favorites. I enjoyed it. But if contemporary isn't your thing, worry not. I have some recommendations for you as well. So we are going to jump over to the Netherlands, specifically Amsterdam, with On the Edge of Gone by Corinne Davis. Now, this is a survival story after the world ends, and this is not the Amsterdam that we know today. And I think that that just made this very interesting, the way that the main character, Denise, explores Amsterdam after this natural disaster happens and it's really destroyed. It has this incredibly haunting effect, and I think that Corinne Davis did a fantastic job of creating a very haunting atmosphere for this survival story. And I also have a fantastic fantasy recommendation for you, and we are going to jump over to the Czech Republic and jump into Prague with Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. This is another instance where the author created this really beautiful atmosphere and romantic setting in Prague, and Daughter of Smoke and Bone takes place in our world and another world, but the idea and just the way that Laini Taylor wrote Prague is stunning and beautiful, and it made me immediately want to go and visit. And finally, I'm going to jump into some historical fiction here, starting off with Wolf by Ryan Growden. And this actually takes place in multiple countries, but again, I'm going to focus on the European ones because it's a European book trip. And I'm going to be talking about Germany and Italy. And this is one of those books that you don't get the city feel of these books, but you get a little bit of the terrain and the atmosphere, because the main character is going on a cross-country motorcycle competition that goes through Germany and Italy and other places as well, and it's just this very high-stake, fast-paced novel that takes place in these different terrains, and it's just really fantastic to see. And finally, I'm going to close it out with a classic historical fiction, and that is going to be The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. And this book primarily takes place in England, and it just sets up this really beautiful atmosphere of what I imagine England to be like in the countryside, with these big manors and secret passageways, and of course a secret garden. So that has been it for my monthly recommendations video today. I definitely wanted to focus on the European book trip type thing. I thought that was just a fun idea. I know that I will not be able to travel to all the places I want to travel to in my life, and sometimes I just take those experiences and live them through books. And I think that that is such a great thing about reading, is being able to live these different experiences temporarily, and in no way do they compare to the real thing, but sometimes the reality is you're just not going to get to go to these places, and sometimes you have to see them through a different lens and experience them in a different way than maybe you wanted to in the first place. As I said before, my reading experience is very centered on books set in the United States and in Europe, and I would like to change that, so if you have any recommendations or you have made a monthly recommendations video yourself, please leave a comment down below and let me know about all that. I definitely want to broaden my horizons as far as reading on different continents go. If you want to follow me on Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram, I'll leave that in the down bar below, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Stay weird.